Okay, so let's forget about all those endless to-do lists and habit trackers for a minute. Today, we're going to do something different. We're going to become architects, and we're going to design your morning from the ground up, using the actual science behind what makes for a perfect start to your day. So, let me just start by asking you this. Does your morning control you, or do you control your morning? You know that feeling, right? The alarm goes off and bam! You're instantly in reactive mode, you're getting pulled in a million directions, and it feels like the day is already lost before it's even really begun. All right, let's dive right into the science with a number that might actually blow your mind: 51%. For the first 30 minutes after you wake up, your brain is only operating at about half of its full potential. Now, this isn't just you feeling tired, it's a real measurable biological state called sleep inertia. So if we're going to master our mornings, we first have to understand the owner's manual for our own brain. Let's get into the basic biology of what is actually happening the moment your eyes open. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with this: your circadian rhythm. Think of it like your body's internal master clock. It's in there 24/7, trying to sync up all your systems, your hormones, your energy levels, everything with the day-night cycle. And guess what? Your morning routine is the most powerful tool you have to set that clock correctly. And this is that 51% we were just talking about. Sleep inertia is that grogginess, that brain fog. It's not you being lazy, not at all. It's your brain literally rebooting, transitioning from sleep mode to fully alert. And this is precisely why jumping straight out of bed and into complex work or checking your phone is just so counterproductive. And then there's this thing called the cortisol awakening response. Now, usually when we hear cortisol, we immediately think stress, right? But in the morning, this natural spike is actually a really good thing. It's like a shot of espresso from your own body, getting you ready for the day. And a consistent routine makes that response way more reliable. So if you look at this, you can see it's really a biological balancing act every single morning. Your goal is actually pretty simple. Use your habits to clear out the sleepy stuff like adenosine, tell the melatonin to go away with some light, and help kickstart that useful cortisol response. Okay, so that's the what and the why. How do we actually do this? Well, it turns out we have four incredibly powerful, really simple tools in our toolkit. I want you to think of them as biological levers that you can pull every single morning to take control. First up, and this is the big one, light. This is hands down the most powerful signal for your internal clock, period. Your eyes have these special cells that are basically designed to detect morning sunlight. The second they do, they send a message to your brain that says, shut down the melatonin factory. All it takes is about 10 to 30 minutes of natural light to send that clear, loud signal. The day has officially begun. Lever number two is movement. And look, this does not mean you need to crush an intense hour-long gym session at 6 a.m. Not at all. We're talking about a 15-minute walk, some light yoga, anything to get your blood flowing. It's amazing for clearing your head, boosting your mood, and science shows that people who move in the morning handle stress better all day long. Lever three could not be simpler. Water. You just spent hours sleeping, so you wake up dehydrated. Your brain is something like 70% water. So drinking a big glass of water before you even think about that first cup of coffee is one of the fastest, easiest ways to wake up your brain and get it ready for the day. And our final lever, just as crucial as the others, is mindset. How you prime your mind is as important as how you prime your body. A really simple gratitude practice, just thinking of a few things you're thankful for, can release mood-boosting chemicals like dopamine. And just setting 3 simple goals for the day gives you instant clarity and a sense of direction. So we've got the levers: light, movement, hydration, mindset. But how do we put them all together? Well, this is where personalization becomes absolutely key. The perfect routine isn't one you just copy from a book. It's one you architect for yourself. So let's look at a couple of popular frameworks just as examples. You've got the 5 a.m. Club, which is super rigid, a 20-20-20 split of moving, reflecting, and growing. Then there's the Miracle Morning, which is a bit more flexible with its SAVERS method. But really, when you break them down, they are just different blueprints for combining those same 4 biological levers we just talked about. Now, here's a powerful strategy you can plug into any routine: eat the frog. The idea is simple, but honestly, it's a game changer. You figure out what your biggest, most important, maybe most dreaded task of the day is. That's your frog, and you do it first. You use your peak morning willpower to get it done, and that creates this incredible momentum that carries you through the rest of the day. But when should you eat that frog? This is exactly why a one-size-fits-all approach just doesn't work. We all have a natural biological chronotype. That whole rigid 5 a.m. club thing, it's biologically perfect for lions, the early birds. But guess what? That's only about 15% of us. Half the population are bears who follow the sun, and another 20% are wolves or night owls. Here's the real secret to productivity. Work with your biology, not against it. If you're a lion, yeah, tackle that huge task right away. But if you're a bear, your peak time is probably mid-morning. And if you're a wolf, you need to ease into the day. Use that morning light to help shift your clock and then hit your stride in the afternoon. Okay, so after all this careful planning, all this biological alignment, what do you think is the single biggest threat that can come in and just derail the entire thing in an instant? Yep, the answer is probably sitting on your nightstand, or maybe even in your hand right now. It's your smartphone. It is, without a doubt, the number one saboteur of a proactive, intentional morning. So why is it so bad? Well, it's basically brain science. The second you check your phone, those notifications trigger a little hit of dopamine, which hijacks your brain's reward system. It jolts you out of a calm, creative state and straight into a high-stress, reactive one. And in that one moment, your morning stops being about your priorities and starts being about everyone else's. This brings us to our final and maybe the most important piece of this whole puzzle. Because the biggest reason people fail to stick with a routine isn't just their phone. It's falling into the trap of perfectionism. A successful long-term routine is built on this one principle. The goal has to be consistency, not perfection. Life is messy, it's unpredictable. A good routine has to be flexible, not fragile. It needs to be able to bend without breaking. We all need to avoid this classic all-or-nothing failure cycle. Does this sound familiar? You design this perfect, rigid routine. Life inevitably gets in the way and you miss one step. Then you feel guilty, you call the whole day a write-off, and you just abandon the entire routine. The point isn't to be perfect. It's to build a system that supports you, even when life gets messy. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Forget about perfect. Just ask yourself this. What is the one small, simple change you can architect into your morning tomorrow? Maybe it's just drinking that glass of water or getting 5 minutes of sunlight. Just start there. Because the perfect morning isn't about doing everything. It's about consistently doing something.